Welcome everyone to the channel. Today we are going to be prototyping a full landing page of a website. A student came to me that he wants to learn some of the animation that he saw on the website that is very interesting, and he wants to also write the animation in code as well, but he needed to know how to achieve the animation in Figma first before coding the website. Shout out to him because he's the one that made the tutorial possible. You have seen the preview, and then I know you are interested in knowing how to achieve some of those stuff. Let's get started because there's a lot to learn. You just have to click on the link in the description to get the resources that we have used. Then what you do is that you come here to this on the name of the website, click on the arrow. Here you are going to get an option that says duplicate to draft. Where you duplicate to draft is now you now have your own copy that you can now share, you can now use, you can now edit. Okay, all I want you to do is to click on class files, so you'll be able to have this file here. When you have this file, you can now be able to duplicate this desktop too, and then duplicate these menus here, so you can be able to use them and follow along. Basically what you do is to frame this section. You right click on this one like this, and then say you have to select this particular section. When you right click, you see an option to frame selection. So when you frame selection, you can now be able to extend this section like this, okay, and then you cannot be able to extend this one. I want you to stop here. Okay, so maybe somewhere here, just somewhere here, and then it should be like this now. Okay, so you select this particular one, make sure it's aligned very well like this. Okay, so now what we are meant to do is to duplicate the frame itself like this. Okay, so if you've gotten it right, you see this empty area here that fill up the space there. Okay, so what we'll do is whenever there's a hover on these ones, they should all change to something to a different color, okay, just to respond that they are light. So I will click in there, and then I'm going to select this layer and duplicate like this. Okay, so in this place I will press Ctrl backspace to remove the auto layout, so they are now separate like this. Okay, the next thing we'll do is to select everything like this, and then set it to a component set. Okay, so on the component set, I'm going to duplicate this one and go inside this component set, duplicate everything like this, select everything and duplicate. Okay, on this I'll go to selection color. I'll change the selection color to yellow. Okay, and that is once there's a hover, and on this one I'm going to copy this color code, so and change it to paste, enter there. So it's more like 50%, but I think I'll reduce this. So the one we are changing here is the inner, so only the text need to be dimmed. Okay, so what you do now is to prototype that when there's a hover on this, when there's a hover on this, it should be like this. So while hovering, the animation should be instant. So basically you have to do it to the rest. Okay, while hovering. Okay, so now that you are done, is to select this one, Ctrl C, and then begin to replace them from here. Ctrl Shift R. Oh, be careful. You select this one, Ctrl C, and Ctrl Shift R. Okay, Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift R. So basically, accordingly, just the white one that you have to use to replace like that. Now if you come to the preview here, you refresh, you see that once there's a hover on these people, the colors changes like that. Okay, just to make sure they're working fine. But other ones has not started responding yet, so we'll treat them. Then on this particular one, I think is the same element that we use here that we are going we use on this side that we are going to use to change them under. So you come here to, if you select any of them here, or maybe let's go to the main component somewhere here. Okay, so you select this, Ctrl C to copy that, and come here, and double click, Ctrl Shift R to replace, Ctrl Shift R to paste to replace. Okay, so if you refresh now, you can see is responding. Pretty cool. So then the one that is remaining now is this particular one. So for us to get this one done, okay, it's a little bit tricky, but we'll get our head around it. Okay, so what we'll do is to select this person here, duplicate like this. So what we'll do again is to bring up a rectangle like this. Try right click and then send to back. Okay, try to size this rectangle to fit within the text border. Something like this should be fine. Okay, the next we'll do is to select this person, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste, to copy and paste. Sorry, so if you come here, I can see we have two. We are going to see whenever this one becomes darker, let's make it darker. When it becomes darker, maybe when it's dark, we are going to select this particular color. So I will copy this color, Ctrl C, so, and then I'll press Ctrl Z to undo. Okay, then come here to this duplicate. Now that we have two here, okay, so you select this top one and change the fill to the color that I copied earlier. Now you have something like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to right click on this one, select this one now, okay, and then you set send to back. So when you send it to the back, is at the back of this place, okay, at the back of this particular rectangle here right now. Okay, but whenever you resize, you might not see it because the white one is directly on top like this. Okay, so I'll press Ctrl Z to undo. So I'm going to select this and then send to the back again like this. Okay, then select the white text and hold Shift and select the rectangle, right click and say use as a mask. So when you use this man as a mask, what we just did is that if you select the rectangle now and resize the rectangle, is going to, anytime the rectangle gets smaller, the text gets hidden. Okay, that is, the white text gets hidden and the one at the back will be revealed. Okay, so if you extend the rectangle, it's going to show the white text, but whenever the rectangle is resized to be small, it will reveal the text that is behind. So that is the trick that's there. But now if you observe very well, you can see that this rectangle, that's this person here, is having like a hash outline there, that is a hash ending. Is there any way we can feather it so that it will not look this harsh? Yes, there's a way. So I'm going to show you that way. So make sure the rectangle is somewhere here, for instance. Okay, let's keep it here so you see what you're doing in real time. All we can do now is to make sure that the rectangle is selected here, and then go to the fill section and change it from solid color to gradient. Okay, rotate the gradient like this and make one of the gradients perfect white. Maybe it must not be perfect white, but something white will be fine. And then make the other one perfect black, that is 00. So take the zero sides and then make it okay. So first of all, I want this, you can see the side that is black. I want this black side to be on this area, so I'm going to click on this place to rotate the gradient like that. Then go to the black section and take the opacity of the black to 0 like this. So once you do that, okay, you are now in control of how sharp it's going to be. So if you move this top closer, they are going to be sharp, but if you move it further apart, okay, they are going to be there will be like a graduation of the fade. Okay, so now that we are done, okay, we'll select everything, both this text, you can see this text is far behind, like this one now is far behind, while this one is just here. So we'll select all of them, okay, like this, and then press Ctrl G to group them. So they are now inside a group like this. Inside this group, okay, it contains the mask. The mask is the text and the rectangle, you can see, and then it also contains the black text. So if I hide it, you can see. So but they are now inside one group, so that it will help us to select them and manipulate them the way we want. Okay, so what you do here now is to select this one, Ctrl X to cut, and select this particular one, and then press Ctrl Shift R to paste to replace. Okay, so now okay, so now we are now in control. Okay, the next thing we'll do is to select this particular one. Okay, we are going to convert it to a component, and on that component we are going to have a variant. Okay, so in this section, what we'll do here is that we are now going to go into the mask. Okay, so if you come to this group, you can see we have the mask group. So if you expand the mask group, what we can now do is to select this rectangle here. For us to review this rectangle, in this section we are going to review the rectangle like this. So the more you extend this rectangle, the more brighter the text becomes, or you can decide to go into the rectangle and make something like this. So the text will be bright enough. Okay, in this place is dark and in this place is bright. So that is all you just have to do, nothing much. Okay, then you need to prototype now. You come here and you say when the mouse enters here, it should change to this one, and when the mouse leaves this one, it should change to this one. So you say click and drag and prototype. When the mouse enters, okay, it should be smart animates, and the duration should be 1000 milliseconds. Okay, and the curve should be ease in and ease out. Okay, and then we'll prototype this one that when the mouse leaves, it should change back to here. So it's more like when you're scrolling, it's going to move in once your mouse enter, but as you keep on scrolling up, once your mouse leave this area, it's going to change back to this, which is pretty cool. So that is all that we have to do now. If you should now select this one, Ctrl C to copy, and I'm going to remove this one here, and then press Ctrl V to paste. So I will go back to design and align them like this. What you have done now is that as once your mouse enters like this, it get brighter, and once your mouse leaves, something like this. Pretty cool. Okay, now all you just have to do now is to select this, Ctrl C, and come here, you press Ctrl Shift R to replace that man there. Okay, so that is that one. We'll select all of these people, just move them inside here. Remember to align very well so that things don't get weird, just to keep them very well, because you might end up coming into any of them later on. So the next section is this one here. The easier way we are going to achieve this is to, you can see this one is one element. So I'm going to select every item here. Maybe we'll select this one like this, like this, like this. Okay, select this and this one. Okay, you right click and say frame selection. So where you frame selection, you cannot be able to extend this frame like this. And yeah, I think that is basically it. I think it's okay. Yeah, so we'll select this man and press Alt and click and drag to duplicate. So what you need to do is to style this one exactly how we want it. You can see this one here. Just Ctrl C to copy it and come here, Ctrl Shift R to replace it. Okay, make sure it's aligned. Okay, so that one has been solved. So for this one, I'm going to duplicate like this. I will add an ellipse and I'll make it a perfect white. So I'll try to make it big enough and select this to align like this. Select the big circle, right click and then center back. Hold Alt and Shift at the same time and scale this man down like this. So I'll scale it very small. Something like this should be fine. Okay, so that circle there, I'll press Ctrl D to duplicate 2 times. That means I'm going to have like 3 copies. Select everything like this and then press Ctrl G to group them so they are now 1 like this. Now you can see I have like 3 copies of ellipse 9, 8 and 7. Okay, the 7 is okay, I think the 9, 8, 7. Okay, the 7 is beneath, which is the small one, like the first one. Okay, first of all, let's make it a component and then have a variant of a component. So we are going to have up to 4. So in this stage, what we'll do is that all the ellipse here will be, the opacity will be 0. And in this stage, all the ellipse, we are going to have one of the ellipse, the opacity here, all of them, the opacity needs to be 50. So when the opacity is 50, basically what we've done here is that the small one, the one beneath, okay, so this one on top has to be the small one. Okay, I'm going to hold Alt and hold Shift at the same time and bring it up like this, just a little bit like that, and then select the second one and bring it up like this, just to create that nice step, and then bring the last one now. Okay, so maybe this is how I want it. Okay, if I do not want this much, what I can do is to basically, let's say I want 2 here, so I can select this last one and still make it to be 0. So on this one, all the 3 ellipses need to be 0 as well. It's not like we can select this one and delete, so that everything that we've done here, we can duplicate it to be here. If you do that, it's going to be clash. You can see the name here, so we can either rename it, or maybe let's say variant 4A. Okay, so to be fine. And then for this one, you're going to select everything, so go to the ellipse like this, the one at the top. Okay, sorry, this one. If you expand, you can see we have the ellipse, the one on top. So hold Alt and Shift at the same time. Of course, you make sure that the opacity here, all of the ellipse are 50. Okay, and then you scale the one here to be small, and this one should be following, and this one should be final like this. Okay, I can see there's no much space, so you can select the component frame and extend like this, so they'll have much space to breathe. So what you will do now is to select, and make sure you align. Of course, the alignment doesn't matter, but just for it to look nice. So we'll set this man that after delay it should be like this, and after delay it should be like this, and after delay it should be like this, and after delay it should loop basically. So what you do is to now go to the prototype and select this and prototype. That's after delay, like let's say 100 or 800 milliseconds. You should change to something like this. Maybe we'll make it something like 500. If you test it out and you need an adjustment, then we'll try doing that. Okay, and it should be, everything should be gentle. And this one, after delay, I should come back here. After delay, 800 milliseconds, gentle. And after delay, okay, so 800 milliseconds. Okay, and you can see I'm not adding it to this one, I'm adding it to this particular one, because this one now is the ellipse, but this one is the variant itself. So the variant contains both this one and this one, so you should be careful the one you're adding it to. So I will take this and then add it back to this place. Okay, so after delay it should be like this. So this one I'm going to make it 1000 milliseconds, and it should be gentle. And this one I'll also make it 1000, the duration, like this. So now we have something like this. We'll select this one, Ctrl C, and come here, Ctrl V. So just position it somewhere here, and wait to resize this man. You refresh and leave it for a while. Okay, you can see what is in there. Perfect. Okay, so it's fine now. You press Ctrl C to copy, and then select this one. You press Ctrl Shift R to paste to replace. Okay, and just move this one out a little bit. Okay, so here you're going to have three variants. First of all, we need to change to component and then variants. Okay, and we have three variants. So first of all, everything has to be like this in this first stage, and this is the default state, but this one has to move out so that everything will be fine. But I think before we'll have those variants, there's something important stuff to move take note of here, because I want these people to come individually like this. Okay, so if and again this man, it should also fade in as well. So first of all, I think I'm going to undo the components. Okay, so let's be on this stage first. Okay, so on this one I'm going to do exactly what I did to the other man there. Okay, so we'll basically select ellipse and right click, send to back. The next one is to duplicate again, Ctrl D to duplicate. So what I want to do on this one is if this man becomes bright, that is if it becomes white like this, so it has to be like this for an instance. So I'll copy this color, Ctrl C, and press Ctrl Z to undo like this. And you can see I duplicated earlier, so I have this duplicate here. This one that is on top, I'll press Ctrl V to paste the color that I have. I'm going to right click on it and say send to back. So select the black text and the rectangle like this, and right click and say use as a mask. Okay, so that's once you have the rectangle selected and you resize, so it will be like this. So select the rectangle, go to the fill section, and make something like this. This one is going to be black, and this one is going to be white. Take the black section and make it 0, something like this. So we'll take this one, maybe something like this should be fine. Or if we don't want to do it like that, you can just select resize the rectangle like this. So I'll make it halfway, and select everything like this, and press Ctrl G to group, and press Ctrl X to cut, and select this one, press Ctrl. You can see I'm selecting the text itself, the main heading. Ctrl Shift R to paste to replace. Okay, now we have something like this. The next thing, these people are inside an auto layout. We can dismantle the auto layout in there. So press Ctrl backspace, so the auto layout will go. Now this one is separate, and these two, maybe you can decide to leave the auto layout like this so that it will be easier for us to work with. So the next thing we'll do is that remember, these people are still inside a single frame, right? Okay, so it is now time for us to add the component again. So we'll select this and make it a component, and add a variant. Okay, and this one, what we'll do is that in this section, everything here, like something like this, it has to move like this. Okay, and this one has to move further apart like that. Okay, so I'm using my eye so for them to have like a linear motion like this, so that when they are coming in, this one has to come first and second, and you know, it will move so cool. So the next one is these two here, move them like this. For this one, I think it would be nice if we move from the net. Wow, are you sure you are safe? It's not hiding. That means it might probably not be inside the frame. Okay, what to do, select this frame and say make sure it's on clip content, and select this one and say make sure it's on clip content. Okay, so maybe let's just make it to follow this way. So I need to move it very far behind every other stuff. Yeah. Okay, if you select this one and uncheck clip content and double click inside, and say clip content, you can see the way they are arranged now. If I move this one out, okay, so this is the face. You can see the way they are arranged linear like this. So it's going to move very interesting. Okay, so I will say clip content so they will not distract us, and clip content. Now for this image, what we'll do on this image is to you double click on the image, and then I'm going to resize the image like this, something like this, and I'm going to move this one down. I don't know, this man did not come with them. Why? Okay, so this is an error. This man should have come with them. Okay, what you do is to just select here and press Ctrl V to paste, and press Ctrl V to paste as well. So for this one, it's going to be here, and this one is going to be somewhere down here. Okay, so for this one, I will go to the fill and change it from fit to crop. When I set it to crop, I cannot be able to resize like this, so I'm holding shift to resize like this. Maybe something like this should be fine. Okay, just make sure this is about 101 and this one is about 1 1. Okay, so sorry, 1 1, about 1 1 and about 1 1, so the name must match very well. So now what we'll do is this: we are going to prototype now that once okay, I think I need to do something. I need to have another variant, so I'm going to click here to add another variant. So on this variant, just basically to design again a little bit. So this one, I'll say when the mouse moves, it's going to now be like this, and this one should move up a little bit. Okay, so it is now time to prototype. We'll say at the initial stage is going to be like this. So when the mouse enters, okay, and it's going to be curved, is going to be easy ease, and the animation should be 1000. When the mouse leaves, it's going to change to this one. So if the mouse leaves this one, it should change to this one. Okay, so I'll change it from click to mouse leave. Okay, then when the mouse enters this one, okay, it's going to change back to this one, sorry, to this one. Okay, if the mouse leave this one, sorry, if the mouse enters this one, it's going to change to this one. I'm sorry if it's becoming complicated, but I think it's going to be much clearer now when we put it into practice. So here, if the mouse enters here, it should change to this one, but if the mouse leaves, it should change to this one. But when the mouse enters this one, it should change to this one. So like, let's say I'm scrolling now. If I scroll and the mouse enters here, it's going to change to this one, right? As I keep on scrolling, the mouse is going to leave, and once you leave, it will not change to this one. But let's say I'm scrolling the opposite way, I'm coming like this, and the mouse enters again, it should not change to this one. Okay, so that is the idea. I'm going to Ctrl C and then remove this man here and remove this man. I'll say Ctrl V, go to design and align very well. So if I refresh now, you can see the way it looks. Now immediately my mouse enters. Okay, so as I move out, you can see. Then if I move in again, did I say? And if I move out, if I move in, just like this. So for the first time, it's going to look like this. And once my mouse enters, I don't know why it doesn't respond. My mouse should respond here, but it doesn't respond until I get to somewhere here. Why? We need to know why. Now here on this frame, I need to make sure. Whoa! So what is here is mouse leave. That means when my mouse enter, nothing will happen. Is when my mouse leave that something will happen. Wow, that is a big error. Okay, so we need to change this man to, instead of mouse leave, it's going to be mouse enter, right? And let's refresh and see. I hope I'm on the right place. So when the mouse enters here, I think the network, I believe. Okay, so when the mouse enters, it changes to this. When the mouse leaves, it changes to this. But when the mouse enters this, it should change to this. Okay, so now I think the distance is kind of I think the network maybe, but I believe it's working well now. Okay, so what you do is select this one, Ctrl C, and come here, Ctrl Shift R, like this. Okay, so let's text it from here. You refresh and you move, okay, and you enter here. And when your mouse leaves like this, you can see, so when my mouse enters, it appears again. So but we have not prototyped this area, that is the text as well. So in this case, we have to make the text brighter here in this area. So go back to design and come here to this group here. So when you're on that group, if you expand, you see the mouse group, right? So when you expand the mouse group, you now see the rectangle. So if you bring the rectangle like this, or maybe go to the view and bring the rectangle like this. Okay, so you can decide to do it here, but I think it will be much better if you just copy the mouse group, Ctrl C, and double click here to the mouse group. You select the mouse group and press Ctrl Shift R. Okay, so I think that should work well now. You scroll and you can see the text is not cool now. Okay, let's see. You can see this one stays for a while, disappears, and stays again. Oh, interesting. Okay, so oh, interesting. This dude here, I need to go. Okay.